Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is a tropical update for August 19th to August 20th, and it's going to be focused on the Atlantic and the Western Pacific, as those are the really only main areas of potential tropical activity over the next few weeks that are consistent in the models. Hopefully that made sense. Anyway, I'm sorry I couldn't make a video last night. I was making a green screen video, but I messed up something, and I was so tired I had to go to sleep. And I just didn't want to post it because it was so bad. But anyway, let's get started. So, to get started, let's see. We got the Climate Prediction Center outlook. So we got a high risk of development in the Gulf of Mexico, a moderate risk off the African coast for week 2, a high chance for week 1, and then we have moderate chances in the Western Pacific for week 1 and week 2. Moving on, we have potential tropical cyclone 4. Now this is going to be moving, as it says, northwest at 14 miles an hour at a sustained wind of 35 miles an hour. There's tropical storm warnings in effect for part of South Texas and for parts of Mexico. Now, of course, this could become a tropical storm. It could not. It could pull like Alex, where it didn't become a tropical storm till after Florida, or in this case, it doesn't become named at all. So we will have to see. But the U.S. rainfall potential, we see that we have in Mexico up to 2 to 4 inches and up to 4 to 6 inches in Texas. And yeah, arrival time of winds with the most likely, and let's do the we have, okay, there we go. Sorry, guys, I wasn't talking because it was lagging. Anyway, so winds right now, we see the center is around here off the coast of Mexico around the Yucatan. Anyway, it's going to be moving northwest, and winds should start arriving in Mexico around Saturday at 2 a.m., Saturday 8 a.m. in Texas, and Sunday 8 a.m. really inland. Anyway, moving on from that, I'm not going to read the key messages because it's really only flooding and some gusty winds. And it might form, might not on 2. And by form, I mean like get named. And Danielle, I'm pretty sure, but we'll see. Anyway, moving on, we have the Gfs SpaghettiOs for the newest run for the North Atlantic, and we go later into the run, and we do see all of the potential tropical cyclones forming a lot, show it going out to sea a lot, show it heading land. Either way, we will see. For a couple of days, it wasn't really showing anything again, but then they burst back to life, and we do see a lot of systems being shown, especially from the MDR, mainly that moderate risk. Some show it hitting land, some show it not hitting land. Most show it hitting land at least one way or another, whether it's Canada, the U.S., Bermuda, or somewhere in the Caribbean. We will have to see. But it's definitely going to be worse if it does affect land, because of course, when these systems hit land, it's bad. But even if it doesn't hit land, it could be very strong. But I'm just repeating where the worst in the systems are shown in the ensembles. But anyway, we will have to see what happens with this. And if you couldn't really see the SpaghettiOs well, guys, by the way, if I'm making mistakes in talking, it's because I got braces in. I should only have them in for a little over a year, but I'm trying my best to talk normally with this. I'm getting used to them. Anyway, moving on, we have, I just want to get back to the video. We have all the spaghetti models. We show a lot of hitting Florida, a lot hitting Louisiana, Cuba, a lot coming near Bermuda to affect it, a lot hitting Canada. We have one hitting New Jersey, a lot hitting Florida, a lot hitting Louisiana, Cuba, a lot going out to sea. Either way, if it goes out to sea or not, it's been shown very strong. And if it hits land, of course, that will be very bad. Moving on. We have a lot to cover, so I'm trying to move through as quickly as I can while still explaining a lot to you guys. Anyway, we have the EPS SpaghettiOs, and if we go a little into the run, and by the way, I'm not in 18D because that only goes at 144 hours. And that's not enough because we're at 162. We're barely seeing anything. Anyway, if we go later into the run, we do see all of these systems emerging. And a lot going out to sea, a lot hitting land, but most aren't far enough in the run to actually see where they will be going. But EPS is showing something. but of course, it is not showing as much as the GEFS as usual. It's not usually on board with systems as much. Anyway, moving on. Let's move on to the Western Pacific now, where we do have nothing for the next couple days, but of course, some systems are being shown because we do have an invest here, but I'm not expecting it to form and become anything too bad. But move later into the run, and of course, we do have something being shown, and most show it hitting Japan, which it of course would be very bad. And a lot of these systems, because of where they're forming, if they move up, will hit Japan. Actually, this has been trending more and more to hitting Japan or another landmass, and not as much as showing it not hitting land anymore, which is really bad. Like I said, like I did earlier, I'm repeating where they are shown going. And if you couldn't see that well, we have the cyclone locations like I showed earlier for the Atlantic. I'm going to show them for the Western Pacific too. I didn't show them for the EPS, by the way, because they don't have that parameter. But anyway, we see that most of them definitely show it hitting Japan. A lot show it going out to sea, but man, that is a lot hitting Japan. And of course, they can get heavy rain, some flooding, very high sustained winds, and very high wind gusts. Storm surge, very bad. And usually these systems go outside of Japan, like they don't hit them, usually because they're forming by the Philippines. And by the time they get to the latitude, like 40, 30, 50 degrees north, they're already much more to the east of Japan. So yeah. No, but because of this, where this is forming, it is a high chance of hitting Japan. Moving on, we do see nothing for the EPS. Well, not nothing, but like compared to the GEFS, it's definitely not as much. But we do see a lot of the systems being shown, and by systems I mean like the ensembles are showing a lot of support for the potential system in the long range that we saw on the Climate Prediction Center week 2. But yeah, we do see a below 950 system. We see a lot of 960 to 979s. And guys, like I said, sorry if I'm having a little trouble talking because of these braces. I'm just getting used to them. But anyway, some show it going out to sea, some don't. But of course, there's a lot to count because, of course, all these blue and red, not blue and red, the blue and green, sorry for that, but these are all the ensembles showing the system, just not as strong. But of course, we're going to mainly focus on these reds, purples, and pinks, as if they do happen, they could cause a lot more damage. Here's the sea surface temperatures for around the world. We have 30 degrees in the Caribbean, for well, at least parts, a little bit of the Caribbean and the Gulf. 31 degrees around the Bahamas and Cuba. 29 for much of the Caribbean and Gulf. 28 in the Southern Caribbean. 29 for a lot of the East Coast until you get to the more northern parts. 28 and 27 for much of the MDR. 29 near Bermuda. And in the Western Pacific, we got 29 and 30 near the Philippines. Near Southern Japan, we got 30 and 29. And Northern Japan, we got like the 20s and stuff. Near Taiwan and China, we have 30, 31 degrees. And yeah. Now, let's move on. Let's go to the North Atlantic and let's show the Gfs Main Model. By the way, I'm not showing the O4W. Not O4W, O4L, sorry. There is an O4W current in the Western Pacific, but I don't expect it to form. O4L, while the hurricane, if you go to hurricane, you go to GFS, it is there. I'll show you. It's messed up because, like, it's GFS isn't recognizing that it's forming, so it won't, like, show it. It's just going with some random low, the nearest low, so yeah, that would be useless. I'd be wasting time, and of course, I want to give you guys the best content. Anyway, moving on, we got the Gfs Main Model. If you go a little bit out, we do see the system coming off the MDR here. And as you go later into the run, moving near the Caribbean, and it gets its act together and forms. Now, it goes up the East Coast, but usually it's been showing it hitting land. We will see. And it shows a little something in the Yucatan, but of course that's far out and it's weak, so we're not going to trust it. We go to the ECMWF. Of course, we got to go to 12Z. But anyway, I'm just going to skip to hour 240 because usually there's not much before that we see the 998. So yeah, of course, it's been coming off the, it's been coming off the the western part of Africa. And then we have something here, which I'm not too sure about. I guess that's just another low that happened to come off. Anyway, let's go GFS and CMC. It's not really showing anything because it usually shows systems much weaker. In this case, it's not really showing anything, so I'm not going to show CMC. But anyway, GFS for the Western Pacific. And we do see nothing really until we get into the latter hours, around the later 200s, and we do see something. And it does hit Japan, but sorry, trouble tip. This is being a little slow, but yeah, we do see it hitting Japan. And if we go to the ECMWF, and go to 12Z, which hopefully will load. Sorry about that. But anyway, if we go to 240 hours, we do see something forming. I'm not showing the A50MB wind or the 10M wind or the significant wave height or anything because intensity and wind gusts, rain, all of the A50, 10Ms, and every parameter that correlates to how intensifying this storm will be, how strong it will be, and how much rain it will drop, and all that stuff for both basins. The exact intensity and the effects are too far out to look at, so I'm not going to be showing any of those parameters until we get closer. Anyway, that's the end of this tropical update. Sorry that I have a little bit of a lisp and stuff. Like I said, I just got these braces and I'm trying to get used to them and talking to them. But in a couple days, I should get be talking normal as I get used to them more. I should only have them in for a little over a year. But even though I have a little bit of a lisp, I believe I've been talking clearly enough for you guys. It hasn't been too bad. So hopefully I have. If I have not been talking clear enough, please let me know. But I believe I have. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Please consider liking, subscribing, and watching the other videos. Anyway, bye guys.